ಗುಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ನೂನ್. ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಷನ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರನ್ನು ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಷನ್ ಸಹಭಾಗಿತ್ವ ಮತ್ತು ನಿಯಂತ್ರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂಥ 2 ಅಂಕದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಈಗೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ ಅಂದರೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಅ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ನೇಮ್ಡ್ ಸುಜಿತ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅ ಸೋಲನ್ ನೆಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೇನಿಂಗ್ ಅ ವೇಟ್ ಇರ್ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ. ನೇಮ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಫೇಸಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸಜೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ Sujit is deficient in thyroxine secreted by thyroid gland. Okay. Suggestion: consumption of iodized salt and food can control his whatever the food has iodine that controls this problem. The first question is. Second question: salivation in the mouth immediately after seeing a food and closing your eyes immediately when a bright light falls on your eyes. Give a scientific reason for the above events. It is a reflex action of the brain. It is the reflex action of the brain. ಹೌದಾ? ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಷನ್ನು ನಾವು ಆಫ್ ದ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಷನ್ ಮೇನ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಪೈನಲ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್. Okay, next, if the left hemisphere of the cerebrum is affected, the right side of the body will be paralyzed. If the right hemisphere of the cerebrum is affected, why does the left side of the body suffer from paralyzing? The nerves coming from the left side of the body are connected to the right hemisphere of the cerebrum, and the nerves coming from the right side of the body are crossed in neck and connected to the left hemisphere of the cerebrum. So if the left hemisphere of the cerebrum is hit, the organs on right side of the body will be affected by lateral air, and if the right hemisphere of the cerebrum is hit, the organs on the left side of the body will be affected by paralysis. Next, what happens if the thyroxine hormone is overproduced? ಹೌದಾ? ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಥೈರಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನು ಓವರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆದರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಕ್ಸೆಸಿವ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಥೈರಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಅ ಮೆಟಾಬಾಲಿಕ್ ರೇಟ್, ಪ್ರೊಸ್ಟ್ರೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಐಬಾಲ್, ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ದ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್, ಸ್ವೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫ್ಯಾಟಿಗ್ಯೂ, ನರ್ವಸ್ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್, ಕಾಸಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವೇಟ್ ಲಾಸ್. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಥೈರಾಕ್ಸಿನ್, ಓವರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಥೈರಾಕ್ಸಿನ್. Why are some diabetic patients treated with insulin injections? If less than the required amount of insulin is produced, the amount of glucose in blood increases and it excreted through urine, which leads to diabetes or sugar disease. Insulin injections are given to control the level of glucose in the blood and control diabetes or sugar disease. Sixth question: why do some people who consume alcohol have unsteady get? Okay, alcohol affects the cerebellum, which is responsible for the body balance and muscle movement, so they get unsteady. Why is it that when the leaves of the touch me not plant are touched, they begin to fold and eventually close? The plant cell of touch me not plant change their shape by changing the amount of water inside them. As a result, they change their shape by bulging or crumpling. How does chemical adoption takes place in animals? It's a 1 mark question. Chemical adoption takes place in animals by the production of hormones. Which signals are interrupted when the spinal cord is injured? Transmission of reflex and involuntary signals is interrupted when injured. What is the need for coordination and control system in an organism? Multicellular organisms, especially animals, are more active. Each organ of the body performs a specific function. The functional activity of all these organs requires cooperation and control. How do we detect the smell of an incense stick? When the smell of incense stick comes in contact with the nose, it dissolves in the mucus like a substance in the nose, and there are odor receptors in the olfactory nerve which is the sensory nerve in our upper walls of the nasal cavity. When these reach the olfactory region of the cerebrum, we became aware of smell. A person's face is pale and his breathing rate is increased due to fear. Analyze the process by which a person prepares to face this situation. Adrenaline is secreted directly into blood. Blood is reduced to the skin by a configuration of muscles around small arteries in the skin. The respiratory rate increase in the contraction of a rib muscle and lungs. A faster heart rate often means more oxygen is supplied to the muscles. Why is the use of iodized salt recommended? Iodine is required for the synthesis of thyroxine. Carbohydrate provides the best balance for the growth of protein and fat metabolism in body. If there is lack of iodine in our diet, we are prone to gout, and hence use iodized salt is recommended. How is movement of the leaves of the touch-me-not plant different from the movement of the stem towards light? If touched, the touch-me-not plant moves its leaves in response to the touch. The cells of this plant change their shape by changing the amount of water inside them. As a result, they change their shape by bulging or crumpling. This type of a movement is not dependent on growth. If the young stems of the plant respond by bending towards light, this type of a movement is directed and growth dependent. How does chemical coordination takes place in animals? Chemical coordination is done by hormones which are secreted by special glands called endocrine glands. Where is the connection of reflex arc made? The best place can be said to be the first point of a confluence of the reflex arc between the cognitive and afferent nerves. Humans are creatures with thinking power. How does this think power work in them? 3 mark question. It's a human spinal cord is made up of nerves that supply information for thinking. The thought process involves highly complex mechanistic and neural arrangements. All these are concentrated in the brain, which is the main coordination center of the body. The brain and the spinal cord together form a central nervous system. The peripheral nervous system facilitate communication between the central nervous system and the other parts of the body, so that the brain helps to think and act based on the thought. Okay. Up to now we discussed 2 marks, 3 marks questions related to control and coordination. Hopefully this video is useful for you. Thank you. If you feel like this is what useful for you, share to your friends. Thank you.